When I lost my mind, there was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotion had an echo in so much space. When you're out there without care, I was out of tone. But it wasn't because I didn't know, no. I just knew too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy?
Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday, guys. We've got 10 minutes before the news. Usually, I try to jump on here 15 minutes before the 19 hours news. I just missed it by 5 minutes, and that's okay because, I've been on social media today quite a bit. Guys, let's talk about this. Everybody knows it's been all over the news. Apparently, this is the story. Now, before I begin, let me a couple of shout outs to you regulars out there. Sam, thank you so much for being with me, Sam. Lawrence, thank you, Lawrence. Bless you loud and clear. Watching from where? From Nakonde. Love you, Uncle Simon. Wishing you to be live with you one day. I would love to do that. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Guys, let's get into this. We woke up this morning and this thing was on the news. I mean, it said that the former political advisor to former President Lungu, this gentleman by the name of Chris Zumanizimba, has been charged with terrorism. Can you believe this? Terrorism. And here's the thing. The police say, and this is the deal, the police in Lusaka have jointly charged and arrested Dr. Christopher Zumanizimba, 43, of farm number 100 in Chongwe, and 3 others for being in possession of articles of terrorism. Now, you may ask, what are these articles? What is it that Mr. Zimba had in his possession that compelled the police to go over there in Chongwe, pick him up, detain him, and then later announce that he's been charged with terrorism? What was in his possession? Well, the police are saying he had in his possession a substance, something called halothane. Have you guys heard of this? Halothane? You know what halothane is? Halothane is an anesthesia gas. It's a gas. When you inhale it, it puts you to sleep. Have you guys ever heard of this? Who has halothane in their home? I mean, it's not like you can just call somebody up and say, hey, listen, you got a few bottles of halothane over there? And some on the other side, somebody says, well, what is halothane? And this is how you pronounce it, halothane. Halothane is an anesthesia gas. How do you administer it? That's the question. Well, you as a patient, if you need it, you inhale it, and guess what it does? It puts you to sleep. It's lights out. It sends you over there to La La Land. Isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting and curious that in English, the phrase La La Land literally means the land of sleep. And in my language, ukulala means to sleep. I find that curious. Do you find that curious? I find that tremendously curious. So, guys, this is the deal. The deal is Wazimba is in possession of halothane. The police report said deep 600 halothane. But in simple terms, now it's interesting also to note the doctors don't typically use that term. Medical doctors don't typically say deep 600. What they say is halothane. Okay. I find it curious. I find it interesting that he's been arrested and he's charged with this. What do you guys think? We've got 4 minutes before the news. And as you know, the news is very important to all of us, or at least it should be. A couple of your comments. Oh my goodness. This is chemistry, Uncle Simon. It sure is. Somebody's watching us from Serenge. Keep up. Okay, thank you so much. Keep up the good work. I appreciate you. It's a blood bomb, Uncle Simon. It's a depressant. I don't think so. I don't think it's a depressant. Not according to my research. Let those people that terrorized us be caged. I was a victim of the gassing. If that's true, I'm sorry to hear that. Anesthesia gas is a highly controlled substance. This is Isaac. That is used in a medical setting. How can someone have that in their home? It's like propofol. Remember propofol? When Michael Jackson, God love him, may his soul rest in peace. We love Michael. I mean, we over here at Simoson, we get very emotional when you start talking about Michael Jackson. I mean, we pause for a moment. Here it is, Michael Jackson, 50 years old, on his way to become a reborn superstar because he was going to do these 50 dates, and he was in rehearsal and everybody knew that Michael had difficulty sleeping. And his doctor, he had a doctor on hand. Dr. Conrad Murray was his name, would administer propofol. And typically, propofol should only be administered in a hospital setting. Michael, being who Michael was, he had access to all types of stuff. And one of the things that he had access to was propofol. And propofol would help him sleep. Unfortunately, on that fateful night, he was given this drug and Michael went to sleep, never woke up. And the reason I bring that up is because this is the question. Why would you have a controlled substance that is typically used in a hospital setting? All kinds of stuff could go wrong if you have that substance in a home setting, So this is a valid comment. All right, here it is. He needs to tell the court the purpose of that substance. I mean, this is a question. I mean, what do you say to someone when somebody asks you, what were you doing with halothane? What were you doing with this anesthesia gas? What was the purpose of that? And, somebody says, yes, definitely. Here's a question. Could this be linked to the gassing issue? We don't know. Could be not. We have to wait for the police to tell us. But as far as we know, it's safe to assume that when you connect the dots, they lead to somewhere. They do. They lead somewhere. They do. So let's wait and see how the score turns out. Guys, it's 18:58. The news is about to come on in less than 120 seconds. And my admonition to you is go and watch the news. Thanks for tuning in, guys. God bless. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care of yourselves and each other.